What's good, guys? M.V.K here, back again. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Opinion Spot. And today on this Opinion Spot, it's going to be a little different. Today, we're going to do a little ranking of a certain character. The reason why I'm doing it is because this character is celebrating its 80th anniversary. This character has been around for 80 years, man. And what character am I talking about? I'm talking about the Green Lantern. As you all know, DC is about to do something special with the Green Lantern. There's a Green Lantern special coming out that Alan Moore is doing, and a lot of other things. And today, guys, I'm just gonna rank the Earth-born Green Lanterns, Earthling Green Lanterns, not the alien Green Lanterns, the Earthlings. There are 7. Well, 8 if you want to consider it. And I'll do the 8. Reason why I'll say 8, and I'll explain that later. But there are 7, and we all have our favorites. But have you ever ranked all 7 of them? Have you ranked them like your most loved to your most hated, the one you don't like the most? I came up with this idea when I was on the job, and I was just like, you know what? I was planning out the different opinion spot segments I'm gonna do, and this one was a part of it. So I'm gonna rank them from number 1 being the one I love the most to number 7, the one I don't really care for. I kind of hate, don't care for. And we're gonna also give a shout out to another one that technically isn't really a lantern but you'll understand why. But we're gonna do this. Like I said before, this character has been 80 years. This first started with Alan Scott, back in the 40s, and the original Green Lantern. And Alan Scott has nothing but love and respect from me. I love the character of Alan Scott. I love the character. I love his kids and things like that. And to believe it or not, guys, yeah, he's just a good character. So let's start this off. Number 1, the overall arcing favorite. I just mentioned him, Alan Scott. What did I just say? Alan Scott is number 1 in my opinion because of, not for him, if it wasn't for him, the others would never have come. If it wasn't for him, DC at the time would have never said, okay, we're going to relaunch the Green Lantern, but we're going to do it differently. We're going to kind of keep the concept of what we did with Alan Scott, but we're going to do it differently. Hence, the core that we know now. The characters that we know now. Alan Scott, to me, is just a great character. He is the perfect example of seasoned vet, proper teacher. Alan Scott can be found part of the JSA. I love the JSA, as you guys know me. You guys have heard me say many times. I love the JSA more than I love the Justice League. Alan Scott deserves all the credit and praise of being the front runner of the character, of the theme of Green Lantern. Yes, his power comes from a different source than the central battery of the Green Lantern Corps. His power comes from the Star Heart. But overall, just the overarching character himself is great. When they adapted him to Earth 2 during New 52, which Earth 2 was probably one of my favorite books of New 52. There was a lot of hate for the fact that they made this version of Alan Scott younger, and of course his sexual orientation. It was ridiculous to me because I'm like, just because the man is gay, has that really changed his character arc in terms of his characteristics, what he stands for, things like that? It didn't. It did not. And the only thing it did for me in terms of being like, man, was we may not see Jade. We may not see Obsidian, his kids. That's it. Other than that, I still loved it. I loved that he had like his costume in Earth 2 was more like, you know, his costume that we saw in Mark Waid's, forgetting the name of the book, and it's one of my favorites. I'm blanking out on that. Y'all help me out with that one. I'm sorry. But yeah, Alan Scott is ranked number 1. Number 2 on my list, Kyle Rayner. Yeah, I bet y'all were thinking, oh, here's Hal Jordan. Nope. Kyle Rayner is my next favorite Earthbound Green Lantern, the Torchbearer, the Green Lantern that brought back the Corps. He was the last member of the Corps, and he brought it back. The wielder of the White Lantern. He's been a White Lantern. He's done this. But DC, like Tim Drake, seems to shit on this character. Kyle Rayner has probably had the most crap done to him personally. Everybody remembers that refrigerator scene? Jesus. But he always gets the short end of the stick because of a certain other Green Lantern, just like, goddamn, like Kyle can never catch a break. Feels so much like Tim Drake. And don't get me started on what DC does with Tim Drake. Ridiculous. But Kyle is my next favorite Earth Green Lantern. I love the character. I just feel he can do so much more if somebody really takes the time with him. And when they do, he is great. But yeah, Kyle Rayner, excuse me. Number 2. Number 3 on the list is Jon Stewart, actually. Jon Stewart makes, he's ranked number 3 for me. I knew Jon Stewart way before he got really big amongst people because of the Justice League cartoon. You know, when you're somebody like me who's been reading comics for over 20 plus years, you can see where I'm coming from. Like, when they introduced Jon Stewart in the in the Justice League, I'm like, oh wow, they went with Jon Stewart. I was a little shocked. You would have thought it was going to be Hal Jordan, or even being the fact that this took place in the same universe, you thought it was going to be Kyle Rayner, but they didn't. They went with Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart was DC's first black hero. He came out in 1971, before Black Lightning, before Mr. Terrific, all those characters. It was Jon Stewart. He was the first. And he, not only does he get my love and respect, but morally because he just feels more like a natural born leader than Hal Jordan. To me, I know they classify Hal as being the greatest Green Lantern to ever wield the Green Lantern ring, and to me, I question that. I question that a lot because the shit that Hal has done, I'm like, he's gotten chance after chance after chance after chance after chance, and they seem to give him another chance. He's considered that. But to me, in terms of leading the Green Lantern Corps, field commander, I go with Jon Stewart all the time. Every day, it's going to be Jon Stewart. Not only is this man intelligent, he's got the military know-how, he's an architect as well. He is everything you want in a Green Lantern. It works. Just saying. Works. Jon Stewart. Shouts out to Phil Lamar for giving him a voice. Next on the list. Now we're going Hal Jordan. Yeah, Hal Jordan is number 4 for me. Hal Jordan, look, I don't hate Hal Jordan, but I just question that whole the greatest Green Lantern to ever live. You know, he's the Green Lantern of the Silver Age. I give him that. But he has done a lot of crap as well. You know, and then you can understand why he did it too, but he wiped out the entire Corps. There's still Green Lanterns that don't trust him. They still give him that evil stink eye like, this mother. You know, there's still Green Lanterns that feel that way. And they'll never really trust him like that. But I will say, Hal has loyalty to his friends. That's one thing, that's a characteristic I love about Hal. This guy will back you up no matter what. He's got your back. If he says he's got your back, he's got your back. But he can be cocky as fuck. He can be very arrogant at times. And New 52 did not do him any service in making him that. Those characteristics I don't like about him, they times that in the New 52, which I hated. But other than that, Hal, I gotta give Hal credit where credit is due. But what I love about him is his loyalty to his friends. He will back you up no matter what. Look at his friendship with the likes of Green Arrow and things like that. Like, this man, you know, he is a loyal and honorable friend. Give him that. Give him that. Number 5 on the list is Jessica Cruz. Why is she that? Why is it? Because at the time, Jessica Cruz was not even a Green Lantern. At the time, she was a character just called Power Ring. Before they later created her into the Corps. And I like the fact that they have her. She's the first human female Green Lantern, I believe. I wish there were more female Earthling Green Lanterns. To me, they need to make another one, and to me, she should be Native American. I'm gonna put that out there. I've always said that. I've been big on that. But what I love about Jessica Cruz is the fact that her character is not as okay. The whole willpower and everything, she questions that a lot. She has some psychological problems that has hindered her from being who she needs to be as a Green Lantern. And the exploration of that has been shown in the comics, and I love that. I was like, yeah, okay. So somebody who gets this power ring, and you have everything that comes from your own will, your will and your mind. What happens to somebody who is kind of always questioning everything she does? Very, very, like, you know, how does somebody with that kind of power deal with it? I like that. Jessica Cruz has been really interesting. Indeed, I really enjoyed that very much. And when she was partnered with her partner, who ranks number 6, Simon Baz, it was very interesting. Simon Baz to me is another one of those characters that, to me, it was interesting, but it also felt like he was somewhat of a plot device. Like, we don't have a character of Islamic descent, or we need that. And I don't mind that. I'm all about diversity. I'm all about that. I got no problem with that. But when almost in a point where it's kind of shoehorned in to make a statement, I'm not for that. But over time, I didn't really care for the. I was like, all right, see y'all making him this, so he's done time, or you're basically just using him as the stereotype of all Muslims are bad and everything like that. But over time, they really started to find his niche with the character, and I was liking it, especially when he was able to start doing things with the lantern ring that no other Green Lantern was doing. I was like, yeah, I like this. I was like, okay, now we're talking. When you take away what his ethnicity is, or his religion is, now you're focusing on just the character-wise. I'm liking that. Now you're getting it. Now you get it. I wasn't too big of him carrying a gun. I'm like, what the hell is he carrying a gun for? I was not for that. But over time, Simon has really become my a character that I was like, all right, there you go. Now we're getting it. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Number 7 on the list is Guy Gardner, guys. Look, if you like Guy Gardner, much respect to you. I have nothing against you. I don't. I hate the character. I hate Guy Gardner. I don't like the character. Oh, let's make a badass, or let's make this Green Lantern an ass. Basically, that's what it is. Let's make him an ass. Let's make him where he questions. He'll go up to the Guardian and question everything about him. You know, the whole concept of him being able to overcome fear and everything, okay. But it just comes down to, let's make a smart ass Green Lantern. I don't care about that. I really don't. Like, okay, so what? I will say this though. The fact that Guy Gardner kid get under Batman's skin, like, and you can see it on Batman's face. It's not like Batman is hiding it. You can legitimately see it on his face. Then I'm like, okay, he gets a little respect. But outside of that, I really don't care for the character. You know, I really don't. You know, I've never been a big fan of his. I just felt like, okay, oh, it's the jerk Green Lantern. That's all I used to call him, the jerk Green Lantern. And then when I was younger, it was the jerk Green Lantern. Then when I got older, oh, the smart ass Green Lantern. And there you go. And that's how I look at him. If you like Guy Gardner, that's great. But I just don't care for him. And that's why he's my least favorite Green Lantern. I never really liked him as a whole. So yeah, sorry if that just you don't agree with, that's fine. But for me, it's just, I don't care for him. I really don't. I respect that he's a family man. He loves his brothers and his sisters. I respect that. But outside of that, when he does show like he's got a heart, especially when he's around ice, then you start seeing it. I'm like, okay, why aren't you like that all the time? Stop covering your heart, and always got to show that I'm the badass. I'm a jerk, things like that. But like I said before, anybody that can physically and mentally piss off Batman, and you can see it on his face. Right. Yeah. Honorable mention. This is where it comes down to honorable mention. I wanted to talk about is Kelly Quinteri, aka Teen Lantern. The Lantern that the young 11-year-old that you're seeing in Young Justice, who is seeming to wielding the power of a Green Lantern, but through a gauntlet. Okay. To me, I have no issues with her, but the concept of her is interesting. This is a young girl from Bolivia. She's like 11 years old that somehow was able to hack into a Green Lantern battery, siphon the power from it without the Guardians or any Green Lanterns knowing about it, and using the power and making constructs, everything like a Green Lantern can. This is where I always say, yeah, DC just lets Bendis get away with so much stuff. They just let him do whatever he wants, and nobody even questions, like, wait a minute. That's like, wait a minute, Brian, like, if she tries that, the Corps would find out. And we've seen that in the past. Somebody tries to hack into a Green Lantern battery. Another Corps member or the Guardians themselves is already on you, like just like that. They know what's going on. But somehow she's been able to do it, and it's just like, once again, they just let Bendis just do what he wants and never questions it. And they're never like, that's against continuity and things like that. No. But don't get me wrong, I think she's a very interesting character. She wants to be a hero. It's not like she doesn't want to, but this is where I feel like if she's able to do that, then why don't y'all just make her the youngest Green Lantern from Jump Street? Instead of just, okay, well, we're gonna do our own thing. And she siphons a Green Lantern battery and uses the power from her gauntlet. But she rocks the whole Green Lantern, green, black, with the symbol and everything in it. We don't have a problem with that, but to me, this is where to me, they should have just went with making her the youngest Green Lantern. Like, well, we gotta do it. She can do it. I'm just saying. But I like her though, don't get me wrong. You know, Young Justice is kind of off and on at times, but, you know, me reading it, but, you know, I do like her character. Her character is still very much being developed, but, you know, she is a Bolivian. She's Bolivian. She's cool. She traveled from Bolivia to, you know, the States to be a hero. Give her a lot of credit for that. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for what I just said, and I really don't care if I do. I really don't mind it. This is my opinion. That's my ranking. Everybody's got a different ranking, but for me, that's how I feel. If you don't like it, that's fine. Explain why. If you liked it and you have your own, put it down below. I'm looking forward to it. But I did this because of the 80th anniversary of the Green Lantern. And I thought it was time that I did something for the Green Lantern to celebrate 80th anniversary. This character is almost 100 years old. 20 more years and he'll be 100. Shouts out to everybody who has been a pinnacle point in creating this character. Shouts out to the writers. Shouts out to the illustrators. Shouts out to the inkers. Shouts out to everybody who helped bring that character to life. And shouts out, because as much as I love that fucking oath. Shouts out to the writer who came up with that oath. Outside of that, guys, this is M.V.K saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. This is the Opinion Spot, where your opinion matters as always.